Conference, John Healey, Shadow Secretary of State for Housing, opening this economy debate. Conference, tonight in this country, 120,000 children will not be able to go home. They'll sleep in temporary, hostel-type accommodation, some sharing toilets and bathrooms with people they don't know, whose family is homeless for want of decent, affordable homes. And to our national shame, these numbers have risen every year since 2010. In Conference, these kids are caught in the much wider housing crisis which captures the deep challenges facing our country after 8 Tory years. Broken markets, failing policy, widening inequalities. So I give you today this guarantee. The next Labour government will be the most radical government on housing since that great Labour government after the war, and we will do whatever it takes to fix this country's housing crisis. Because when rough sleeping has doubled, home ownership has fallen, rents have risen, and when last year we saw the lowest number of new social rented homes built in this country since the Second World War, this country needs change. And when a national disaster, like Grenfell Tower, happens under ministers who saw fire regulations as red tape, and when Grenfell survivors say to us, we were victims before the fire, and say social tenants are second-class citizens, then this country needs change. Change that gives people the help they need, the hope they crave, and the chance they deserve of a safe, decent, affordable place they can call home. Change that's radical, change that's deliverable, change that's Labour. And Conference, we've felt for too long, haven't we, that housing was a higher concern for our party members than our party leaders. We can't say that now. For nearly 40 years in politics, housing has been Jeremy Corbyn's top domestic priority. So as your Labour Shadow Housing Secretary, I can tell you today that we will set up a fully fledged housing department to lead the drive to fix the housing crisis. We will end rough sleeping within a parliament, we'll control rents, end no-fault evictions, and put a stop to the tyranny of rogue landlords. We'll give first-time buyers on ordinary incomes the opportunities that only the rich get under the Tories. And we will have councils building council housing again. Building 1 million new, truly affordable council and housing association homes. Radical, deliverable Labour. We will build for those who need it most, the poorest and the most vulnerable, with a huge social rented house building programme at the heart. And we will also build for those in work on ordinary incomes who are priced out of the housing market and failed by housing policy. Labour's living rent homes with rent set at 1/3 of average local incomes. Labour's new low-cost homes to buy with mortgage costs set at 1/3 of average local incomes. This is the same Labour aspiration that led Aneurin Bevan to talk about that living tapestry of a mixed community as he led that huge house-building programme for Labour and this country after the Second World War. Radical, deliverable Labour. And let me tell you, Conference, we are winning on housing. We're winning the arguments. We're forcing the government, the Tory government, to change tack. But it's winning the country that counts. This is the only really test that matters. Because we've got to get into government to get the chance to do what we pledge. And from government, we will lead a new national mission on housing. A national mission that demands more of all, from commercial house builders to housing associations, lenders to landlords, tenants to councils. Labour's long-term plan on housing, with action from day one. And in year one, we will legislate for new rights for renters to control their rents, improve conditions, increase security. But we know that our rights are worthless when we can't enforce them in the workplace or in the housing market. So I can announce today that the next Labour government will back new renters' unions and fund them in every part of the country so that renters who feel helpless in the face of a housing crisis can organise and defend their rights. In conference, we also know that the housing crisis is in part a crisis of inequality. And it will fall to Labour. It will fall to Labour to put a brake on this growing gap between Britain's housing haves and housing have-nots, to ensure that those who've done well out the housing market don't leave behind those with no home at all. So I can also announce today the next Labour government will strike a blow against housing inequality with a new national levy on second homes used as holiday homes to give homeless families a chance of their first home. And conference, I want the final word to be on Grenfell. You know, it's been more than 15 months since that terrible national disaster. 15 months on. Why have nearly half the survivors still not got a new permanent home? Why are more than 400 other tower blocks still cloaked in that same lethal Grenfell-style cladding? Why have the government not yet banned combustible cladding? So I say to the Prime Minister, if this was your home, would it really take so long to fix? If this is where your family slept at night, would you fail to act over 15 long months? So let's today, from conference, say to the Prime Minister, stop dragging your government's feet and act. Act to get all survivors into a permanent new home, to bring all those culpable to account, and to put into place every measure needed to prevent this ever happening again. Our country needs change. But it's clear that nothing will change without a change of government. And that is down to us, together, as Labour, to win and then to be the new government that so many millions of people so desperately need and want. Thank you.